Hey,
Hey, honey, how are you today? One day at a
breathing through everything.
time.
Music puts me in my happy place.
Good.
So it's nice to hear the music. Um,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
we have so much going on right now. So
Yes,
much. We have so many things. All the things. Septober, as it were. It's busy for you at Pentagram. I know.
we're extremely busy. Appointments are still available. If you're out there and you want an October appointment, I'd get them now since I'm completely booked now for every Saturday in October. I'm
Mm.
only available on Fridays, which they opened up for me recently because Mondays and Saturdays are gone.
And are you at Zodiac at all in the month of
Yes, I
October?
am, and I'm going to be doing little workshops. So if you
Nice.
are quick enough to grab one of those that are available, there are only going to be 6 people in these
Okay.
workshops, and doing mediumship, tea leaf reading, and I'm teaching my magical home course.
Nice.
Little like day-to-day magic that will help you get through. And I believe I'm also doing connecting with the crown. We're
Oh,
planning to
good.
do monthly meetings, for women in, you don't have to be a crone, but hopefully we'll all get to be crones, to talk
Right.
about the transformation that aging and those darker goddesses and how they guide us through this time in our lives.
That's fantastic. I love it. I love that idea. That's wonderful. I love that gathering in.
Yes, gathering and
That's what we've always been about, right?
absolutely
That's what
about
it's
coming
always been about.
together, creating events that, bring people together. And,
Absolutely.
with the one that I'm doing at Pentagram, I think the only cost is maybe you guys should bring some snacks where we can all enjoy drinks and snacks.
I love that. I love that idea. I think that's a great idea. I definitely want to hear more about that.
Yeah,
So yes, good. The other thing is I'm doing the crystal classes. I actually have 2 each Sunday because last year they just all sold out. Because there's again, it's small class size so that it's one-on-one individual attention instead of, teaching to 70 people in a classroom where you really can't talk to everybody individually. This is much more it's a more intimate thing. I'm enjoying it. So I added classes. I might even throw in a Saturday um for some of the other things, but I think the crystal classes on the Sunday is a good idea. So and I started one. It's even earlier. It's starting, I think, earlier in the afternoon now. So
that's
that'll
great.
be good.
It's
That'll be
great.
good.
Great. The
Yeah.
autumn is here.
And yeah, and we've got just so many things, happening. Probably gonna be launching just an online store, which is
I'm
good.
very excited about
So
this.
that'll be at gallowshillwitchery.com. So we're gonna be talking about that more over the next coming couple of days. And I'm reaching out to different people that I know that have um, you know, shopping carts on their sites and trying to get an idea of, what people are experiencing right now with their services and stuff. So hearing some recommendations on that right now. So that's good too. And looking forward to
Spirit Beacon.
turning the wheel. Looking forward to Spirit Beacon Sunday.
Yes.
Absolutely, with so many fantastic and there's Joanne. Hey, Joanne.
Yeah, Joe.
Looking forward to seeing the psychics back. I can't wait to see Joanne and give her a big old hug. But yeah, got fantastic returning psychics, of course. You and Tim, phenomenal. Um, so yeah, very exciting. And Bruce is back, and also Red, um, which I haven't worked with Red in a while, so it'd be great to get back with her.
Absolutely.
And Ari is coming back, so Ari will be back with us too, which is fantastic. and also Sonia.
Yeah,
So it'll
some
be
new
great.
faces. It'll be wonderful. We're gonna have a great
5 5 mediums. 5 mediums.
That's
Yes,
great.
5 mediums.
I
5
highly
mediums,
recommend everyone.
3 palmists. 3 palmists.
Nice.
Yes.
Hey,
And Tim doing the astrology.
this
Tim
place has
sitting and doing
amazing
the
food,
astrology.
delicious
Oh my god, it's
cocktails.
true.
It's amazing. I
It's
can't
true.
wait. I'm
So, it's
saving all
gonna be
my
a good
money.
day. And old returning vendors, and then also more than a couple brand new vendors. So excited for that too. So it's going to be good. Going to be really good. So I'm looking forward to Sunday at Rosaria between 10 and 4. So come on out and meet everybody. Free parking, free admission. Come on in and say hello to everybody. See all the beautiful artwork, all the custom made items, all the handmade items. Ren Lorian with so many custom made, beautiful art pieces. So many beautiful altar cloths and all kinds of in so many people are doing different kinds of jewelry, and we've got candles, we've got oils, we've got we got
Really
it all.
cool spell kits from the Crystal Druid.
Oh yes,
Very cool.
yes,
Very
rune, all kinds of rune
cool stuff he
things.
does.
Yes.
To create craft
Hmm.
his jewelry from scratch. Um,
Yes.
he's pretty cool. I
Yeah.
gotta say,
Yeah.
love my Rob.
Yeah, and a lot of people were commenting and saying that they were really looking forward to seeing his work,
Definitely an
um,
artist.
all the new stuff that he's been making. So looking
Very good
forward to
at it.
that too. So it's going to be wonderful. And like you said, it's good food, good drinks.
I'm
It's a
serious.
beautiful, gorgeous atmosphere. Absolutely gorgeous
I'm gonna have
ballroom.
a party there.
Beautiful dining room, beautiful bar, like the whole place, and the patio, the outside. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. I'm going
Yep.
to get some time out on that. I want to get some time out on that patio.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
gorgeous to sit out there, gorgeous
Mhm.
scenery with that beautiful all the vegetation and the little statue and everything in the back there. So
I think it's truly
looking forward
it's
to it.
amazing. It's amazing.
Looking forward to it. So, speaking of looking forward to, please pull a good. I please tell me we got a good card. Did we
I
get a
think
good
it's a
card?
good card, okay? Even though it reminds me of every ounce of ADD I have. The Page of Swords, at one time I called
Okay.
this little gem running with scissors because he's so filled with curiosity. His thirst for knowledge sometimes makes me trip a little bit. And you know what? New to communication, learning new ways to communicate. Listen, when I'm looking at the page, I love the pages because it's that childlike beginning and energy. It's learning to trust. There may be a little bit of a lack of experience, but I have to say the page is thirsty to know more. Okay, he's youthful. He's a part of us that
Mm,
starts new projects. We just hope our ADD lets us finish rather than start many projects. But he reminds me when I pull this card, it's like, hey, you started a project. Are you going to finish it? So it gets me back to whether I'm crafting, whether I'm writing. It tells me that there's something new blowing in the air, a new energy, a fresh start. His ideas are beginning and it's dynamic. And it's interesting because this may be like more of a waning time of the year, but this energy goes even though the time may say it's sleep time. It's time to wake up. Maybe this is the time you're actually working where people can't see. It's the under the earth energy. It's the seed about to crack, but nobody sees it. That is the capsule of potential. And
mm,
that lives in all of us. So,
mm,
what new things are we going to do for 2025 that are just starting to germinate in our brain? That's what the page of swords begins to me. But, he's just going to be careful sometimes of what he says, how much he takes on,
mm.
and, to stay consistent because sometimes, he fluctuates too much where the breeze blows.
Oh, that can be very true, it's time, I think, right now to kind of kiss it or kill it when it
Yep.
comes to projects. It's time to really prioritize, get our ducks in a row before this busy season, at least for you and I. I know it's time to really say, okay, what can we take on right now, if anything? What can we, what are we capable? We only have a finite amount of time and a finite amount of energy. And so we got to watch what we're spending our time on. We got to watch what we're spending our energy on. And we can get pulled in so many directions, like a bride on a wedding day. We're pulled over here, we're pulled over there, we're pulled, you know what I mean? It's like we can really lose sight of,
Of being
of
focused, of
the
your
real
focus here,
priorities.
you
I've
know?
been talking about focus on and on and on. It's been a big thing I've been talking about. And so I'm just going to say, and to go along with your Page of Swords, and I will come back to crystals because obviously our show is focused on them
I
today.
actually prepared, and that doesn't happen often.
I love that. But the one crystal I'm going to mention right now, and I know this
You
is
know I
one we've
know.
talked about,
You know I
fluorite.
know my fluoride.
Fluorite. I can't say enough about it. If you feel like you might be the Page of Swords, inverted, when you're just getting so scattered and you're pulled in a million directions, and and you feel like you start a bunch of stuff but you can't get anything finished. Fluorite, absolutely fluorite. I it can't say enough about it. And also, when it comes to creatives, I would marry it with citrine, because I know you and I, those were two of our go-tos when we were writing, because it did help get the ideas. It helped break through any of the blocks. Because another thing that happens when you start getting scattered is you go into a paralysis where you're just like, oh my God, this, that, the other thing, this, that. And now you're like a deer in the headlights, just like stopped, going like, I can't even decide what I've got to do first or how to even approach this task. There's so much here. I'm just going to sit here and zone out and disassociate or whatever. And
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, no, you got to break through that. Citrine and fluorite together, just amazing. So, if nothing else, if you don't have like anything else in your pocket in the day to day, I would put a fluorite and a citrine, or wear them or keep them on you, because it's so helpful.
It's a beautiful combination, and I've done the citrine ring, and I've done fluoride earrings that I think you gave me, and that's where I'm hearing it. But around my neck, I will
Mm,
wear a carnelian, and that
mm.
helps me. I think it helps me stay excited about a task when it becomes drudgery. It
Oh
it
yeah.
it gives me that, like, the Page of Sword, why I think I need to meditate on this. It's excited about new knowledge. It's not excited, and it's curious. So it's
Yeah.
digging in, and I found myself doing that lately with a lot of different podcasts and different types of books and research. I've been, little personal research on,
Yeah.
different types of magic and fiction too. I've been very curious about engaging in classical fiction, so I've been listening to it on Audible and reading it, and that's that young energy. It's like your first day of school. That's what
Oh
he
yeah.
reminds me of. Page is first day of school, and pair that for me with a carnelian, you'll stay excited all year long.
I mean, carnelian, I think that we said something like, it's a kick in the ass.
Get up, go
It
do it.
lights
Thank you.
lights a fire under your butt.
Yeah.
It really gets you going when you get stuck. So it can help you get your get up and go back. But what I really am curious about is the forecast, um, from Tim, because I really want to hear, what, obviously we don't know the weather yet for October, but I want to hear the planetary weather. So, and really want to get Tim on here, and he's got some forecasts, for everybody. And I'm going to listen not only for my son, but I want to listen with regard to my moon and also my rising. So when he's giving the forecasts for the signs, I'm going to be making a combo because I want to see, the obvious, then maybe the moon is kind of like the unseen or the, the beneath the surface, and then, the rising might be what's out at, what's more obvious and out and ahead. So I'm eager to hear all that. I don't know where Tim is right now.
Hi.
There he is.
Hi,
Hi, Tim.
guys. Hi, I'm glad to be on the show. I wanted to, before we jump into the astrology, just mention since the last show, you had mentioned about citrine and how much it helped you with clarity in writing. I've been trying to implement that because I have some writing stuff going on, but
Love
I
it.
have a rainbow fluorite next to my citrine. And how is that rainbow fluorite?
Yeah, because the rainbow fluorite has all the different colors that fluorite comes in.
Okay.
Or let me just say, a lot of the older rainbow fluorites don't really showcase the blue as much. You might see more of the purple, the green,
turquoise,
and then kind of a clear.
Yeah.
You might see the blue. So if you've got a blue in yours, that's great. That's a more recent fluorite. If you go back 30 years, there wasn't a lot of blue fluorite. That's a little bit more of lately they've been finding that blue. And so if you have a rainbow fluorite from recently, then it may have more of the blue in it. But fluorite even comes in like a golden. It even comes in like a golden yellowy color. And that's gorgeous too. And so some of the pieces might even have, and oftentimes you'll see the purple and yellow kind of banding, going on. So, and all of that, I mean, if you know your color magic, like if you picked up a copy of Lighting the Wick or anything like that, then you'd have an idea, right? Awakening the Crystals has some color, has the colors, the table of correspondences, right? So you'd understand the different fluorites can bring in different, focus, different things into focus because of their color. So there's, focus overall, but then also needling down into some of the specifics.
Well, it has helped me. Citrine is associated with Gemini anyways, but I've always known it to attract business wealth. And of course, after reading your book, listening to you more, that has just been a great tip. But it reminded me of the fact that we've got Jupiter in Gemini right now. And I did mention a previous couple shows that everybody should be writing. Wherever you have Jupiter in your chart could actually indicate what you should be writing about. Interestingly enough, I did a reading not too long ago with a client who had Jupiter in her 8th house. 8th house is the house of death and rebirth and taboo subjects like sex and psychic stuff, right? So she had actually had a project that was talking about the death of someone very, very close to her. And she was been meaning to kind of share that with the world and put it into a thing. So it like literally lined up perfectly with that's what she should have been writing about. So I'm so happy that she got on it and she got that out there.
Dynamite.
So if you want to even pay even more attention to where Jupiter is in your chart, it could really point to what you should be talking. Where you have Gemini in your chart, kind of points to maybe where what you should be talking about. I have Gemini in the 12th house, and I am currently writing about dreams. And the 12th house is really trying to capitalize on that. I've been working on this dream book forever, it seems like. But yeah, Jupiter in Gemini and just that citrine tip from last month has been great. And then you mentioned fluorite, and I was like, I have a little rainbow fluorite with my citrine garden. I've got a couple citrines in there. So
I love that.
So definitely love the crystals, comparing them with the energies of what's happening in the sky. So of course, capitalizing on that Jupiter and Gemini. Now Jupiter is making a square to Saturn, and that's a long-term thing. It started, in this. It's going to last for about a year. It already peaked once. It's going to peak again in December, and then I think again next year. And so this is a kind of a global thing where everyone is kind of being pushed out of their comfort zone a little bit. A lot of people being exposed. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the eclipse that we got coming up here, because it is a big event. And this is what we've got coming up here on Tuesday, the 17th. So eclipses, only happen about every 6 months, right? When the sun and the moon and the earth all align in a perfect line. And so it does point to our north node and our south node, which that's like an 18th month transit. So this upcoming eclipse is the first eclipse we've got in this Pisces Virgo axis, which we're going to get into in January of 2025. But the fact that this is happening when we're still kind of in that Libra and Aries axis, it's really giving us a glimpse, this upcoming eclipse, of what to expect all of 2025. So it's important we really pay attention. And Libras, yes, you will finally get a break by the end of this year. We're finally leaving the South Node in Libra, entering into the South Node in Virgo. But Libras have had it tough. And I know from experience, I've got some Libras in my family. There's been health issues, there's been other things, but this year has been a year of just purging, getting rid of all of those things. And look, Libras are ruled by Venus, so they love to see the goodness and the beauty in things, but it's been really about seeing things clearly and dealing with the messiness and the ugliness and getting rid of those rose-colored glasses a little bit, right? So we've had the North Node in Aries, which has been very combative, the god of war, and we are now leaving that sector. But this eclipse is really bringing into focus what I believe is going to be happening all through this next year. As we can see at the top of the chart in the picture, the moon is in between Neptune and Saturn. Neptune and Saturn went retrograde around the same time at the end of June and July. So this eclipse is going to be kind of highlighting that, since June and July, Neptune in Pisces and Saturn in Pisces have been kind of pulling back the veil on a lot of people who have been pretending to be someone they're not. And because Pisces deals with spirituality and, reaching the collective, I'm seeing a lot of people, the curtain being pulled back on some of these pop astrologers and these people who just kind of jumped on the bandwagon and are moving along with this huge Aquarius energy that started when we entered into the age of Aquarius, and they're getting into astrology, they're getting into this, they're sharing posts, and then come to find out some of these posts they've all been sharing have been copied or stolen. And so that's coming down, and it's just interesting to kind of see it all unfold. But I do predict that probably this upcoming year we'll see a decrease. Some of these pop astrologers or other people that were just along for the ride kind of just disappearing. Maybe their pages will disappear. But I am starting to see some of that accountability, people being called out. And these are like big pages, like bigger than mine, that have a lot more followers that are being called out. And so even myself, I've been holding myself accountable to just try to give credit where credit is due. Be careful, sharing things that aren't aligned with myself, and then just being creative. We're going into this North Node of Pisces, like create yourself, create your own things. So that's what I'm also doing. I create a lot of things. I'm very creative. I create poetry, I create art, I create music. And so I'm tapping into that self. So this eclipse is going to pull that in as well. The Saturn is kind of telling us to get serious about our gifts, our spiritual gifts, our abilities, right? And our creativeness. A lot of Pisces does kind of rule the house that is hidden. And there's a lot of hidden talents, a lot of hidden spirituality out there that will come out. But I do feel with that Saturn and Neptune energy teaming up, it is going to be a lot of accountability for those unauthentic or unoriginal people, right? So Saturn is bringing that accountability to authenticity. I'm so happy. And I'm so happy to have been
Yay!
for many years, because I know you guys as the real deal. And I'm so sad that I won't be able to be in Salem this year, but I was last year, and I loved it. I loved working at Pentagram. My dream is to go back there. So, looking towards those spiritual things. What are your spiritual goals? What are the goals you have? And part of me wanting to go to Salem is a spiritual goal that I have, to be in a like-minded community and to allow my gifts to flourish and shine, right? But that is going to definitely be a main focus. Now, as you can see, I highlighted some lines. I've made them stand out. and the blue lines are trines or sextiles. So you can see a perfect triangle between Uranus, Pluto, and the sun. And that is a grand trine. That's a positive aspect in the sky where these three planets are working together. And what do they represent? Sun is our self, right? Our vitality, our energy. Pluto is all about death, rebirth, transformation, and major transformation. And then Uranus is also about transformation, revolution. So there is a huge, powerful support during this eclipse of transformation, death and rebirth, and just letting go of something, purging. I mean, eclipses in general are about purging. So as we go through the 12 houses here in a moment, we're going to talk about what it is we need to be purging so that we can shine more authentically in our gifts and in our spirituality. And then I also circled another main character on the left side, Jupiter, and that's because he's making a square to this lunar eclipse, and also the sun. So Jupiter, making that square, Jupiter is typically a benefic of the universe, but the square energy is going to highlight the negative tendencies of Jupiter. So excess, unnecessary risks, overindulgence. So those are the things we may have to be careful with. Those are the negative side of Jupiter. Because Jupiter's in Gemini, the sign of the mind, there's going to be a lot of signs this eclipse that will feel overwhelmed mentally. Journal, write
no,
it
I
down,
can't do
get
that.
it out of your head. Yeah. Just writing it down will help to release some of that, but it's going to be a lot of kind of like overwhelming mental and even emotional energy. We've got Mars that went into Cancer. This is going to be a long-term transit. Mars usually only spends 2 months in each sign, but he is going retrograde. So he's going to be in Cancer and then go into Leo, dip back into Cancer. This is going to last until like April of next year. So we need to kind of learn a little bit about Mars and Cancer right now. Mars is messy in Cancer. He doesn't like Cancer. He's exalted in Capricorn, right,
Yes,
Sandra?
doesn't like him either.
Right. Cancer is a little more peaceful. He likes to he doesn't want to necessarily fight. But the Mars in Cancer is forcing us to take action based on our emotions and how we feel, right? And where does that align? That's going to align with Pisces energy, which is another water sign, and asking us to look below the surface, to look at the reality and trust our intuition, trust our gut. So a lot of what this energy of Pisces is going to be leaving a little bit behind the logic and the facts and all of that, and trusting our intuition more and more than our logic, basically. So let's jump into the signs.
Wow. Okay.
Anything you want to add, Sandra?
No, I'm just like, oh boy.
Yeah. So here we go. So Pisces, this is the lunar eclipse is happening in your sign. Now, I definitely recommend people to pull up their charts. I don't gatekeep. Astro.com is a great website. There's a lot of them out there, but you can easily pull your chart if you've got the time of day. This is where the houses come into play, and you can become much more accurate in astrology of which area of your life is being impacted. So, and also with the time of day, depending on whole house, Placidus, like for me, my Placidus chart, I'm a Cancer ascendant, but I've got my 10th house in Pisces. So it will differ, but this is just going to be based off of whole house astrology. So if you don't know the time or the exact chart, but at least your ascendant, you can do that. And then what Sandra said a moment ago, you can also base it on your sun sign if you don't know your ascendant or you don't have the time of day. And then, of course, the moon is more of our emotional nature, and that might be impacted, our moon sign, whatever that falls in. So starting with all you Pisces ascendants, I think we've got one here in the mix. This is falling in your first house. The first house is all about self, identity, your goals, your image, your vitality. You could completely, I don't know, if you have really long hair, go chop it off, or completely revolutionize your image. I wouldn't say you would do that, Sandra, but you could be revolutionizing your image in some way, or purging something about your health, your lifestyle, your image, your goals. But this is the time where your internal world is going to kind of be exposed a little bit, and it's going to blend with the external world. There's something hidden about yourself that you need to trust your intuition about, to find and to really navigate this part of this energy of this eclipse. Again, eclipses can last up to 6 months, the energy. So this eclipse is foreshadowing what's going to be happening in the future. And we're going to go backwards here through the zodiac, but starting with Aries. Aries, you're in the 12th house. Aries naturally rules the first house and is kind of opposite to the 12th. So this is not a very comfortable position for you, Aries, because you want to take action on a lot of things. But this eclipse is asking you to look within. This is about what is happening subconsciously and what is coming out subconsciously. What are those shadows that you've been refusing to acknowledge that you're projecting onto other people and you haven't acknowledged yourself? There's going to be fights if you are projecting, because people are going to see through the truth. And it's important, instead of being so outwardly aggressive as Aries can naturally be, turn that inward to spend some time reflection, go into nature, be alone, release all of the things and those shadows that are holding you back. Taurus, we've got the 11th house. This is the friends, the social networks, independence, hopes, wishes, lucks, being in the social and just community, right? Taurus is a very stable sign. They like to kind of stick with what they know, with their possessions. So you are being pushed outside your comfort zone a little bit in regards to trusting your intuition a little bit more instead of basing everything on fact, and get out there to meet more people and trust your intuition when it comes to exposing yourself to your friends and to your social network and community in general. There'll be a lot of opportunities for your gifts and your spiritual gifts to shine if you do that instead of staying in your safe space. All right, Gemini, this is the 10th house. Gemini, Kamala Harris has a Gemini ascendant. So this is going to be impactful for the election. We'll talk a little, just briefly on that, but falling in Kamala's house, 10th house, this is going to be very karmic. The 10th house is a very big in astrology, angular speaking. The 10th house is the house of reputation, the public eye, career, fame, your profession. So this is where your impact on the external world is highlighted, and this could be good or bad. If you've been very deceitful and you've been trying, just charming people all along the way, this could be very karmic and you being exposed or you falling from grace. But on the flip end, it could be very karmic in that you will reap all the rewards of everything you've been working so hard to achieve. So this is going to be very important for Kamala Harris, because if she has been honest with herself and with everything that she's been doing, I really see a huge karmic blessing of her reaping what she has sown in a good way. And if not, there could be some exposure of some of the things that she hasn't been honest about. But either way, 10th house, this is a huge thing for all Gemini ascendants to get out there in the world, but also be aware of that karmic energy, that if you have not been honest about who you've been presenting yourself as, expect some karma. I hope to receive the karmic energy of reaping the hard work I've been working for all these years, but it does falling in my 10th house. And I have actually seen a lot of blessings. And that the key here is that honesty. We've got that Saturn and Neptune pulling back the curtain on all fakes and people that are really trying to deceive and manipulate. Cancer ascendants, this is your 9th house, higher knowledge, traveling, religion, international. Cancer does rule the 4th house naturally, so they like to also stay in their environment, stay in their home. And this is it pushing you to explore, get out into the world, even travel far as you can go. And if you can't travel physically, mentally, emotionally, allow yourself to explore something new in the realm of religion, spirituality, higher knowledge. Great time for looking into classes, college, taking any kind of course that's going to improve yourself for your next phase when it gets into your 10th house. But this is a great time for learning, traveling, religion. Again, tapping into that spiritual side of you, Cancer. You got Mars in Cancer right now, so there's a lot of watery stuff. Tap into that energy and your natural gifts of intuition. All right, Leo. This is going to be the 8th house. Leo ascendants is the house of death and rebirth, taxes, legacies, transformation, and even psychic awareness. So as we're talking about allowing your spiritual gifts to shine, if you have got a Leo ascendant, you probably do have some psychic abilities you've pushed away or you've not been paying attention to, and that could come up. Pay attention to your dreams. There could be a major transformation, a major ending of something, but it will immediately follow a rebirth, a new birth. Now, Trump has a Leo ascendant. So this is his 8th house karmic lesson, and there could be a major ending. Who knows what that major ending will be, but there is something that's got to change. Some kind of transformation needs to happen with Trump. Otherwise, there probably will be an ending. But there is something major going on in the ways of death and rebirth for that man. And so just wanted to touch on the 2 presidential candidates that we are seeing, what's happening with them. Then we get to Virgo. It's your season, Virgo. We've got the 7th house being highlighted for you as you're a Virgo ascendant. And this is relationships, marriage, partnerships. So Virgo, while you like to keep everything in order and you kind of compartmentalize things, even people in your relationships, this is asking you to step outside of that and stop doing that. You're going to have to trust your intuition more when it comes to your relationships and allowing yourself to be exposed where you don't know what's going to happen next. You may not have that little box checked or that little list done on this particular person. You're going to have to trust your logic. You're going to have to trust your intuition when it comes to relationships and partners. All right. But allow yourself to explore that arena and to delve into that part. Now, the thing about Virgos is you've had Saturn and Pisces kind of transiting your 7th house. There's been a lot of accountability in regards to relationships and a lot of breaking of rose-colored glasses in your relationships already. So know that this has already been happening for a long time, and this is clearing everything up so that you can truly see the truth of what's happening with others, your relationships, right? All right, Libras. This is happening in your 6th house, Libra Sun, for you. So this is your physical health. And this is going to be daily tasks, jobs, service, that sort of thing, opposite the 12th house, opposite of Aries. So there is the sun transiting the 12th house, kind of bringing out some hidden things, even enemies possibly, or some just hidden things in general. But now this full moon in the 6th house is asking you to pay attention to the details. Pay attention to all of those tiny details that sometimes you Libras like to gloss over, because again, you like to see the beauty in thing and look for all the positive. But this is saying to not gloss over things when it comes to your details, your daily health, your daily jobs, just tasks, and just your service to others. Already Libras had this whole year, again, South Node in Libra, we've had the purging of pleasing others, right? And learning how to not put others so much in front of yourself and finding that balance and putting yourself first, because we got that North Node in Aries. Aries is about self. But now is this eclipse, tapping into your spirituality. Keep in mind, body, mind, and soul are all connected. So for you Libras, your body needs to match your spirituality and your mental and your emotional health. If one is faltering, the other can suffer. So tap into that spirituality. It's going to lead to better physical health, but also pay attention to your health, eating nuts, berries, fruits, getting sleep, hibernation, right? Tap into that bear energy. All right. 5th house is Scorpio. Scorpio, this is the house of pleasures, the inner child, children, dating, romance, risks like gambling, and just pleasures in general. So when we talk about the eclipse highlighting this area, what you need to purge, I mean, if you have been taking unnecessary risks, such as gambling, maybe that's something you need to cut back on, or just unnecessary risks in general. But I really feel more towards that inner child. Scorpios, you can be very suspicious of others and not want to give of yourself to others until that that person is willing to jump in with both feet, just like you are, because you are so passionate and you want to jump in with both feet, but you always want to wait for that other person first. This is saying to let go of that. Tap into the inner child, the part of you that trusts very easily, right? Children trust easily. They love unconditionally. And they also have faith like no other adult I've ever seen. They are able to trust and have faith in the universe. And this is calling you to tap into your inner child, to learn to trust others, to learn to let go of whatever pain that has caused that grief that is blocking your heart chakra, that is causing you to not want to love easily or unconditionally anymore. Let go of that grief. Let go of that pain. It's hard for you, Scorpios, to let go of things, that fixed energy, but this is what that eclipse is going to highlight. And it is tied to your spirituality. You're the water sign, and we've talked about a lot of water energy. You're very psychic. Allow that psychic intuition to come out, so where you can use that to know what your next steps are instead of being suspicious or fearful of anything. All right. Coming to Sagittarius in the 4th house. This is your home, your family, another major angle in astrology, the roots, your security. So Sagittarius, we got Sagittarius moons in here and a Sagittarius rising. So yes, for your home, this is all about where you feel secure. Okay, so maybe the sun in the 10th house has just been pushing you into your career and into the external world so much that you really forgot about your inner sanctuary and getting back to finding your inner peace and your mental peace. So this definitely is about your sanctuary, your safe place, your roots, your home. Any imbalances like with family members or people that are not supposed to be in that sanctuary, that's going to be where the problems are going to be. So if you've been lying to yourself about the peace that you have in your home or your family, it's time to face the truth about that. It's time to weed out whatever is causing you getting rid of your peace, right? Which is causing the chaos. So it's about getting rid of those rose-colored glasses around your home, your family, your sanctuary, and getting rid of the weeds that are actually going to give you more peace and more safety and protection in the future, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Third house, we've got Capricorn. This is the mind, the communication, short travel, and siblings. So Capricorn, this is going to be a very mental thing for you, especially with that Jupiter square, the eclipse. This could feel like a very overwhelming energy mentally. So you guys specifically, I'm going to tell you to get out that journal and start writing stuff. But also, Capricorns are really focused on the outer world. This is calling attention to more of your inner world and your local area, your home, even the short travel. So pay attention to maybe what's happening in your neighborhood or around your home, but also communication, right? The third house, the biggest thing is the communication. So this is about being able to express yourself, not worrying about how it's going to affect others, because if there's something that needs to be expressed, this is how you're going to overcome those shadows that you may be facing. So it's really about communication and expressing yourself. All right, Aquarius. This is the house of the second house, financial resources, property values, and morals. So Aquarius, definitely your money situation may be up for review and highlighted. If you've been wasting money or putting it where it not be, but then also just finances and property aside, what do you value? Where are your morals and your ethics? And what is valuable to you? Because that is going to be highlighted. And I can guarantee Aquarians who are surrounded by people who don't have good morals, there's going to be some confrontations. There's going to possibly be a challenge to maybe your boundaries in regards to your values, something that's really important to you and maybe not be as important to that other person, or maybe that other person just doesn't respect your value or your boundaries. And remember, if they don't respect your boundaries, they don't respect you. So that is where you are really the air energy is going to be highlighted. And Aquarius, this is asking you to use your intuition to, again, step out of your comfort zone and not make everything so tangible or focused on, that if there is any money worries, just, make sure that you understand that isn't the worst thing in the world. One person I used to say that a problem that could be solved by money is not a big problem. The big problems are like your family cutting you off because of your sexuality, or not talking to you because of a parent-child hate relation. That to me is like huge problems, right? But this is telling you, Aquarius, that yes, look outside of that financial realm a little bit and think about really what's important to you and what are the values. And if you have confrontations or problems, it might be because of boundaries, people not respecting that. So with that, looks like, we talked about the candidates. Biden is a Sagittarius ascendant, so his fourth house is affected by this eclipse. So just wanted to mention. Don't forget about our actual president. But with that, anything you wanted to add, Leanne or Sandra?
Yeah, I mean,
my house of writing is like that. The 11th is in Libra, and my writing partner is a Libra.
So once we get, October in the rearview mirror.
Yes.
And we have a little bit of breathing room and running room. We're going to get back into our writing meetings and our brainstorming meetings and sitting down and going over, because we've got a framework. We just need to fill it in. So, we've got the framework for the fourth book. We just really need to fill it in. And so, we're definitely going we're branching out in a new direction, and I think it's going to be great, so I'm really looking forward to that. So of course I'm thinking about the stones, getting back in with those stones. And I actually have a little citrine, um, it's like a little round citrine with like a groove in it. It's not a worry stone. I think it was originally designed like maybe to hold a sphere, but it's perfect to actually, work you with the thumb, you know what I mean? So like while you're sitting and thinking, it's one of those little fidgety stones.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, I can't wait to employ that in the next go around. So, but yeah, astrologically speaking, I didn't hear anything for me personally that really was either really worrisome or that I'm already tracking in the directions that evidently are heading, because I've been making some changes. It was really hilarious that you brought up fruits and nuts and whatever, because I literally yesterday sent a picture of this glorious salad that I had with my lunch yesterday that had blueberries, apricots, and pumpkin seeds in it with like a spring mix. And I sent it to Leanne, and I was like, you could duplicate, and it had a little goat cheese. And I was like, you could duplicate this at home so easily.
Sounds
There's
good.
nothing like there's nothing so outlandish about this, but it was a salad I'd never had that combo before. And I'm like, I need to get back to having at least one salad a day. Whenever I do that, when I eat raw vegetables, not cooked vegetables, my health always improves. And I'm like, so yesterday, not only did I have raw vegetables with lunch, I also had them with dinner. I actually, instead of ordering like wings, I got the buffalo cauliflower, and I had them bring me the carrots and the celery as if I ordered wings. I was like, can you bring me like the carrots and celery that you normally give to people that order, wings? And they were like, oh, sure, no problem. And it's amazing what a restaurant, will do for you if it's something they already carry usually. And I said to her, I don't care if you want to upcharge me. That's fine. I don't give a shit. So like, I got raw vegetables into 2 meals yesterday. And I'm not saying cooked vegetables aren't healthy. They're healthy, but there's something about unprocessed food, just raw food, berries picked off the tree and thrown in a bowl,
Yeah.
Lettuce torn right off, and thrown right in a bowl. There's something about that I find, improves my health. And so I literally already was tracking that way, had a conversation with Leanne last night about it. And then you brought that up and you're like, oh, like a bear,
oh my God,
getting ready to hibernate or whatever. And I'm like, oh my God, that is hilarious. Because
Yeah.
so often
Your first house, Pisces,
we're
is
aligned.
yeah, and Pisces is kind of your vitality as well, so it does kind of align with your health. So definitely Pisces. Take some notes from Sandra.
Getting in the water more.
Definitely.
I need to get in the water more, because that's another place that I feel really good. I feel really healthy, and I can just accomplish certain things like more stretching that I can do way more awesome stretching like in the water, because there's like certain things you can do balance wise and stuff like that might be challenging when you're on land, you know what I mean? But you're in the water, you can do all these things. So I'm like, yeah, I need to get back. Once we get back, I need to like get in a rhythm of when I'm going to be in the water. So there's there's all kinds of good
Swimming is
things.
like it's supposed to be the
Swimming
best
is
exercise.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
It's so healthy, and it relieves pressure off of our knees.
Also, it's when I get some of my best ideas.
Yeah.
Because I'm not near a screen. I'm not tempted to go on a computer. I'm not, I am just in my own inner world, which you also
Mhm.
brought up. When I am swimming, there is no outside, there's really no outside input. So I'm just like, I'm connecting with the water, and then I'm thinking, my brain is just like going in all these directions, but it never goes badly. My brain doesn't do like, oh no, like bad scenarios or anything like that. It always sends me on like a creative journey. And
Mhm.
it's where I get some of the best ideas that I come up with
Clarity.
for different things.
Yeah.
Yeah, clarity. But also it's calming and soothing in the
Yeah.
water.
Oh
And
yeah.
so I don't have those anxious thoughts that can sometimes plague us. It's the opposite. I get excited and thinking about possibilities and like, what if we did this? What if we
Yeah.
did this? What if we wrote about this? Or what if I did this? And I've come up with some amazing ideas, you know, things that I've done with my coven that I've thought up while I was swimming, things that, things that have come out in our books. The water, there is something so spiritually soothing and supercharging about the water for me. And so I think that's one of the reasons why Leanne and I love tea leaf reading as much as we do, and led off with that. And that was what the first book was about, is because it unlocks so much inside of you. It just frees up, layers of your intuition.
Mhm.
And it's so powerful. I talked about it yesterday. I was on Ghost Chronicles with Ron Kolek, and I was talking about the water in Ireland and England, in particularly in England, which we had more time to spend at the
Mhm.
water. And so the wells and the hot springs at the Temple of Sulis Minerva, and like the healing that went on there for me, on so many levels, was so powerful.
Mm.
And
Sounds amazing.
It's a
yeah, and so I just yeah, I really believe in
you
that.
I like taking baths, and when I take baths, if you want to give yourself an extra boost, you can incorporate crystals into your bath time.
Mhm.
As long as they're not porous,
Yeah.
there's certain ones that are no go.
No
But
selenite.
for me, an aventurine and a rose quartz makes me, it empowers me with my own personal beauty. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's not so much the beauty of like, hey, I took a bath, I'm all cute. It's more of that the way I think. I think beautiful thoughts. I'm able to be more creative because I have that ability to grow, and it heals the parts of me that there's parts of you that are you give to the world, right?
Mm.
And you
Mhm.
either get rejected or shit on. When you take a bath, you're healing that. And when you incorporate certain crystals, you can remind yourself that your thoughts, your acts, your deeds do come from a place of beauty.
Mm,
So it heals you. So
Mhm.
I love it.
that's the water cleaning away the wounds, and the crystals fortifying your soul to have yet another day.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So,
Well,
Tim,
what a
thank you
bath.
so much. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being with us. And
Oh,
people
I
can
forgot
find
to
you at
mention that today,
timsoaringwolf.com.
sorry, I forgot to mention
Woo,
that
woo,
we
woo.
are not just out of Mercury retrograde, we're out of Mercury retro shade. So yesterday was the
Out
end
of
of
the
the shadow.
shadow.
So there should be also a little more clarity moving
I
forward.
hope so.
Communication issues that have been like from the past 2 months, this is now kind of a good time to work on those. But just thank you both, ladies. I love the water stuff.
Yeah.
I love purging, even in a shower, you physically cleaning, but mentally put it into the
Yeah.
water and then send it down the drain.
Let it
Let the
run down the
water
drain. Exactly.
take it all
Yes.
away. But
Mhm.
you guys are great. I can't wait for the next book, Jupiter and Gemini. Get that writing. You guys are going to be awesome. And thank you so much. See you guys soon.
See ya.
So, uh, yes. So I'm like, oh my God, looking at the time.
Yes.
Okay. So one of the things I wanted to bring up about crystals is things like this, where, speaking of the water, not only could you do this with some of the sacred waters that we have accumulated from our journeys, but often oils, so either essential oils, even fragrance oils, that you just enjoy and you like the scent of, can be combined with crystals in a format like this, where the crystals are charging up the liquid, right? And here and in the one, these are the ones from Gallows Hill Witchery. So they have the crystal roller ball as well as the crystals inside. So we do something like this when with regard to healing. Maybe you're not really great about getting a daily practice going with your crystals. This is a very easy way to get into a daily practice with your crystals, because you put the crystals in the roller bottle. This comes with, this comes with crystals, but you put them in the roller bottle and it infuses whatever liquid is in here. And then you apply it when you get up, you take your shower, whatever you're done before you leave for your day. You can even tuck this right into your pocketbook or your duffel bag or your backpack or whatever. And this can come right along with you. And you can change this out. You can even change out the chips. If you have another bottle of chips, if you have a little bag of chips or whatever, some people do get those little chips, just like a little container of different stones. You can put the different stones in if you want to change it out. If you want to change out what oil you're using, you pop the top pops off really easily. Pop the top off, take the stones out, put the stones in like a cheesecloth, and with some warm water and the Blue Dawn dishwashing liquid, and it will take the oils off these stones, and then let them dry, let them air dry. And once they're dry, put them back in here, and you can change out, pour a different oil in here and use a different oil. So, something like red jasper, good for vitality, for personal health and healing, and also sex. And so, or maybe it's something more like aventurine. You were mentioning aventurine. So maybe you're working on having better luck with your money or better luck in love. So you're going to put some attractant, some kind of an essential oil for an attraction oil, and attract better things to you, right? Attract opportunities, attract, whether that's, whatever it is you're looking to attract, and you're actually touching that crystal to your skin, and also the herbs or whatever, that are in the oil. So if you're using an essential oil, and if you want to use one of the infused oils that we talked about, go back to the last psychic tea and learn how to infuse your fragrance oils so they have genuine herbs in them, and then add the power of the crystals through the bottle. Something like lapis. Maybe you're looking to have influence over people in high places. Maybe you're looking to win in court, in a court battle. Maybe you're just looking to increase your wealth in general, and move up status wise. Maybe you're going in for that promotion, or you're looking to move up in some way. You're going to a networking party and you want to, to have influence. You would employ something like lapis and you could put your regular cologne or your regular perfume in here and let your crystals charge that up, and then keep this in your purse or your bag or your briefcase or your whatever. And you could reapply through the day if you wanted to. So that's just one method of incorporating the crystals more into, your daily life. And witches use crystals. I know there's been this whole vibe from back in the day where witches used to think, oh, crystals are so new age. Thankfully, that's really kind of gone by the wayside. I mean, some of the older crowd, I think, maybe still has that philosophy, but I think it's more understood today that crystals, are actually another one of those tools like herbs that's great to have on hand. And let's face it, if you're wearing jewelry with stones in your jewelry, you're wearing crystals. You're walking around with your crystals on all the time. What witches do you know that don't have, jewelry on with crystals in it? I mean, I can hardly think of any that don't wear some form. There are even things that are accepted about witchcraft, about certain stones being reserved for certain, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So where people got the idea that crystals don't have anything to do with witchcraft and it's only new age, I have no idea, but dispense with that, because it's another tool. It's another tool in the witch's toolbox.
The earth,
And
it's a mother. We worship it.
and that's the other thing, is like I have rocks that I've picked up through my journeys on certain beaches, in certain other, woods, in certain woods, explorations and things. And those stones mean just as much to me as a crystal that I might have bought in a witchcraft shop. It still means just as much to me. And sometimes it connects me to that place. I have certain rocks that I've picked up from certain places, and it connects me to the energy of that place. And so when I have red rocks that I picked up in Sedona when I was like 22 years old, those matter to me. That's like a little piece of that place. You know what I mean? So it's like, you don't even have to spend money on stones and crystals for them to matter to you, and for them to be powerful, and for them to have energy that links you to something psychically that you're looking to connect with. And so, anything like that, it can be powerful.
Sometimes my crystals are, I feel that the deities that I work with ask me to give them certain crystals and certain jewelry and certain things. They ask for it. So, and you know this because I had you hunt all over the world for a black moonstone. Do you remember this?
I do very well.
I have a red one.
Yeah.
And I have a regular moonstone. But this one, like, she wanted it. I had to buy it. I had to put it. And it's hers. Put it back.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. I have had so many clients purchase a crystal for a deity. I really have.
Yeah, they want it.
One of the psychics, Kiki came to me and said, she wants this. She's telling me that she wants this crystal.
Yeah.
Can you help me find it?
And sometimes there are things she wants me to wear. She'll be like, this is what you're going to wear today. Okay. You listen. You listen. And every single
Jennifer just made a really good point that Lou put on the screen for us. Ancient cultures use crystals for ritual for thousands of years. The uses are in antiquity. This is why, we have some of the lore that we have about the breastplate of the high priest. And we have the lore of, and we can see it in the ancient Egyptians. We can see it. We can see the crystals, lapis, which I just brought up. The ancient Egyptians, their stories, like carvings of their deities, were made in these stones and crystals. Whether it's basalt or it's, it's like, and carvings of, crystals, the crystal skulls, hundreds of years, of history there. And it's like, because these things were considered, they had value. First of all, they had value, and therefore they were placed above, the average thing. Like when it comes to precious and semi-precious stones, they have monetary value, and that places them kind of a cut above, right? Because if something has monetary value, then when you give it as an offering, it's considered almost like you're giving like a sacrifice because you had to work to earn the money to buy the thing to give that as the gift to the deity. And so you're sacrificing, blood, sweat, and tears to actually earn something that you then gave to the deity. Yes, you can enjoy it too. You can walk by that statue in the room and look over and see that beautiful crystal. And, and maybe you use it as a focus for something. Maybe you scry in it. You sit at that altar and look at that beautiful crystal. Maybe you scry in it or what have you. But in your mind, you've gifted it to. And I can't tell you how many, Hera has her peacock ore. She has her, I have so many little crystals. And the healing altar, the two statues at the healing altar have an entire everything, the whole ground around them. They're raised up on these two marble blocks, and the whole entire ground around them inside this thing is all crystals, all of it. It's all, and healing, obviously quartz crystal is one of the known master healers. Tons of quartz crystal in there, tons of other, I can't even list all the crystals that are at their feet. And that's the whole base of the healing altar in the temple. And it's because and I feel like those are all belong, like you said, they belong to them. They're theirs. I gifted them to them. And so it's like, that's witchcraft. I have a huge Labradorite in the West in our temple.
Yes.
If you know, you know. If you know, you know. So our temple, has crystals that are there, to do specific things, to work in specific ways, and to collaborate with us to do specific things. And so, yes, witches use crystals. News at 11, it is not just for the new age. And how many wands? How many wands do you have to see with a crystal on the end of it? Is the wand considered a tool of witchcraft? Yes. How many wands do you have to see with a crystal on the end of it? Or even both ends of it? Or even a wand made out of crystal? The whole wand is crystal. Yes.
We have a lot of things that are wand-like that are made out of crystals.
If you've been to Pentagram,
there is a new crystal shape. It is so beautiful. That one I'm in love with. I might have to. If
you named it, that's the dangerous thing. Once you name it, it's yours. That's the problem. You named it. That's what you did. You saw that and you named it. And now, guess what? It's like when you go and you see a puppy and you give it a name, or you like rescue a stray animal and you name it. Oh, well, that's the end of that. It's not going anywhere now. It's found its home. So good luck, But when you told me what you were going to name it, I half thought you were going to say Abraham.
Well, we already have a mirror named Abraham. Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. But yes, other ways that I use crystals on the daily. I have them in my wallet, in my change purse, right? Which for years and years and years and years and years, I always carried a malachite. And I honestly think it was Richard that originally said to me, keep this malachite in your wallet and your wallet will never be empty. And then I went out to Sedona, and one of the guys out there gave me 3. And here's the funny thing. So Richard's company was called White Light Pentacles, right?
Yep.
And he gave me that malachite. And then I get out to Sedona and I go to a store called White Light. And the guy gives me 3 little garnets to put in my wallet. and says, I was taught that if you keep these 3 little garnets if you keep 3 little garnet chips in your wallet, it'll never be empty. And I was like, okay, kind of wild, but I'll tell you right now, they're in my wallet right now, those 3 little garnets. So it's like simple things like that. I know a lot of people that are in recovery from addictions, and they keep an amethyst in their wallet, so that because they always have their wallet with them. And so they know, they're like, I will never take this out of this. Like, I tuck this in the wallet and I know it's always there. And I put my wallet in my pants every single day. And I know that I'm going to have this wallet with me. And I might forget to pick up just a stray crystal off my nightstand or whatever, but I'm never going to leave home without my wallet. And so I always, always, always have an amethyst in my wallet. And so it's like something as simple as that, tucking it in the wallet or something that you carry with you every day. We have the graphic of the people with the crystals in the bra for a reason.
Yeah.
But like, hey,
nice,
you could sew it right in there.
They have little pockets. You can put a little.
They got little pockets. They got little pockets. The pockets that they put those ridiculous extra cups. When you get that the comfy bra and it has those ridiculous triangles that I always pull out. I always think to myself, I'm going to pull these ridiculous triangles out, and then I'm going to use that to put crystals
in it.
It's a crystal pocket now. Hey,
it is the magic. They're magic. I use crystals daily in my daily practice all the time, especially for protection. I'm always making sure I have something to protect my space. And I also my mind.
Right.
Too much noise.
Yep. Well,
my black tourmaline.
Yep. We're traveling, so always gonna have some protection stones, because we're traveling. But yeah, I mean, it's like, you've been talking about cooking when you're boiling the water.
Yes.
Putting the stones. As long as they have to be water safe, and non-toxic.
Just a cheesecloth. You make a nice combination. Depends what you're looking for. I have a cat now. If you're looking for a spicy night, you have. I'll put a little garnet in there for a little something. Mm-hmm. And other times, if you want just peace in the house, listen. There's a reason why amethyst is so popular. It just does everything in the world. So if you don't know what to pick, get yourself a clear quartz and some amethyst and put it in your boiling pasta. You won't regret
it. Definitely clear quartz. And while I know that it's fashionable to talk about things that do the jobs of other things and stuff, and there's been a lot of talk lately about if rosemary can substitute for frankincense or any other herb and everything. What I will say is clear quartz is made for you to give it its job. And so it is a programmable crystal. So think of it as, it's an amplifier, right? So it'll amplify the stones around it. If you combine it with other stones, it will turn the volume up on those stones, and it will direct that. It will, focus and direct. Think of it just like an amplifier. Its job is like an amplifier. So if you were speaking through a bullhorn, like that's clear quartz crystal, but also it's programmable. So you can tell it. I've said it's like the German Shepherd of the crystal world. You can give it a job and it wants to do that job. So whatever it is that you charge it up and program it for, by placing it in your dominant hand and telling it, literally speaking to it and telling it what you want it to do. So it could, quote unquote, take the place of other crystals in the sense that you could ask it to do whatever you need done. You can ask it to protect you. You can ask it, you know, to enhance your intuition and help you gain information that will help you make better choices. You can ask it to help you find a better job. You can ask it to help you discern between a number of suitors to the best one, who's the best one, and help me choose. You can give it all kinds of jobs. It's up to you to sort of write that and program that and ask it to help you, and it will amplify information your way that will help you discern those things. And it may put out a call because stones have vibration. Stones have a vibe. So even if you just buy crystals and put them around because you don't know how to work with them, but you just leave them on your desk at work or you put them on your windowsill or whatever, just their presence will actually raise the vibration in your area. So that's what we call kind of like level 1 involvement with the crystal. It's in your space. It's around. You look at it sometimes. You like it. It's aesthetically pleasing, whatever. But when you go to the next level, you start actually handling it, talking to it, working with it, carrying it on you, you know, maybe wearing it or what have you. So that's the kind of next level, you know, you're involved with it, you're talking to it, you're actually, you know, getting it to do stuff, you know. And so that's where I think it really comes in handy to have a book like Awakening the Crystals that can help you choose what crystals you might want in your space. We even make recommendations on what room in the house certain crystals really enhance the chi, enhance the you know, the vibe in that room. What crystals might go tucked away in your car to help you keep you safe while you're traveling? What should you take when you fly on a plane? All these questions and more are answered in Awakening the Crystals. So
Absolutely.
just gotta say, like, we put a lot of love and heart and work into that book. And we put a lot of knowledge in that book so that people would have it because we ourselves work with crystals. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say, you know, we've talked a little bit about how we do it here today, but definitely also got to say, pick up the book.
Pick up the book and implement your own ideas. Allow that little spark of creativity. Use your crystals, they're tools.
If you pick up the book this weekend at Spirit Beacon, and I have to see how many copies I have left. I'm like running low. Leanne and I'll sign it because we're both going to be there. So, and I'll have copies of Lighting the Wick and Reading the Leaves with me as well. So if you want to pick up the books this Sunday at Spirit Beacon, we will be there to sign them to you.
We are super excited about Spirit Beacon, and I'm looking forward to seeing everyone.
And when you get the boxes in for the books, if you probably already have, I will come down to Pentagram and sign. Okay. I will sit there and sign all of the ones that are at Pentagram.
Yes.
So that they'll go out signed from Pentagram as well, with at least our signatures.
Yes.
So.
Very cool. Awesome.
Thank you, Tim. Oh, you're the best. Well,
I wish you were here, Tim.
I've got to go grab something to eat.
Same.
I haven't had anything to eat yet today. So we are going to take off and hopefully go to Peaches before it closes. So.
Okay. Well, hey, next time we all see each other, it's going to be that month.
That magical month.